Welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Tom Fornelli. That's Bud Elliott. That's Danny Kanell. I'm Chip Patterson coming to you live at youtube.com/cover3 and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe, smash that like, and come and join us in the chat, a.k.a. the Cover 3 Tailgate. And a reminder that this show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more because this show is week 1 locks. Sorry for yelling, y'all. I'm just a little bit excited. We got Danny. You going to be on CBS Sports Network tonight?
Yes, Carolina. Sir. Coastal Carolina, Jacksonville State tonight. We got an hour pregame show. Beanie Wells is on it. Kevin Carter previewing all the games from the weekend. Yeah, it should be fun.
Nice. Let's go. Love to see it on the mothership. All right. We've got, certainly our loaded locks cards. For those of you who are watching for the first time, the purpose of this is for us to get you set for the weekend with all of our best bets. We will hit the Thursday, Friday games, then the biggest games, and then we'll just let the chopper spray. Okay. So we begin, as we always do, with a review of the previous week, week 0. Bud, that's push sauce right there as the a 59-yard field goal does keeps the under from cashing, but no harm, no foul there. At 28, you got the good number, right, Bud?
No, I actually took kind of the median number there. There was some 28.5 out there, but I didn't want to be the guy that took like the one rogue number only. Look, when I bet games, I go back and I review them. Like, would I bet it again based on what I knew pregame? Would I bet it again based on how the game played out? You had 100% touchdown scoring in the red zone. You had a 59 and a 52-yard field goal in the rain on a bad field. I would bet this again. That's a good bet. I will fire these more.
Awesome. So 0-0 start, no harm, no foul there. 1-1 week for me. Cashed that under 55.5 in Florida State, Georgia Tech, and SMU first half minus 13.5. It didn't matter which way you took SMU. That was not coming home. So we are reevaluating the ponies. We are checking up on their hooves, and we're trying to find what kind of steroids we can inject into those horses to be able to get them to be going a little faster. Danny, 0-2. Double favorites. Florida State minus 10.5 did not come home. SMU minus 24.5 didn't come home. Are we changing anything?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Big time philosophy change. Just a little reminder to myself. The two themes I have this weekend both have to do with unders and underdogs. Dogs, those were big winners in week 0. And I think with the new clock rules, I think what we don't know about teams, that's kind of where I'm leaning so far. So we'll see. Big correction coming.
All right, let's go. Tom, you are also 1-1. We were in lock agreement on Florida State, Georgia Tech under. And then while I was on the first half, you had the SMU first half team total. That was also a loss. And any thoughts as we move forward with the Mustangs?
No. I mean, that was just Nevada was better or played better than I expected. Although if you watch, I feel like that was just SMU hurting itself a lot. I think the weather impacted what they were doing, and there was the one turnover early that kind of just kept momentum. I don't have any problems with the picks. I just have problems with the results.
Okay. All right. Well, we put week 0 behind us, eyes ahead, and it brings me great joy to ask, gentlemen, y'all ready to lock it up?
Let's do it.
Since 2005, the under in games between service academies is 40-9-1.
We're picking locks.
Give me an over in this one as well. A little 2-for-1 special.
Don't get these locks.
I was a SICKO last week. Y'all were watching the good games. I was live betting the hell out of ULM Kentucky.
My blue plate special 5-star locks are coming.
5-star master lock. Lock it up.
You want these locks.
I'm living and dying every point, every cover.
We begin with Thursday night's action. As we mentioned, CBS Sports Network is where you can find that Cayusa Sunbelt showdown between Coastal Carolina and Jacksonville State. You got a little ACC Big Ten action with North Carolina and Minnesota. Colorado gets season number 2 going with Coach Prime against North Dakota State. Lots of other action on the board on the most loaded Thursday that we're going to have all year. But you did finish in first place in last year. So for Thursday, before we move on to Friday, do you have anything on the board?
Actually, I've got a decent little bit here. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got to lean on Colorado. that I think is good enough to play. So here's kind of my file on the Buffs, right?
All right.
First of all, I think they're going to spread out North Dakota State. Okay. Just if you watch into their open practice, they had their receiver group is awesome. So like Shador is a great custodian of the football. You got that receivership group there, which I think is pretty studly. I don't really think North Dakota State can live up to its duty, to really cover those receivers personally. I mean, we'll see. But that duty's not dischargeable, guys. So they have to live up to it. If not, Colorado is going to smoke them, which I think they will. I will not be filing 9, 11, 7, because this money's going to liquidate right back in my bank account by the morning. I'm going to bet it again on Friday and on Saturday. Buffs cover all numbers. Let's go.
You got to have really sharp ears. Okay, so are we really? So we're going first quarter, first half, full game.
I don't know about first quarter because I think we got to see how much the Buffs want to run the quarterback. Like does Colorado tackle well? But I do think Colorado will cover this. I mean, these lines have been out for a minute. I don't think there's huge edges to be had on a Thursday. Right around lunchtime by people have been betting these forever, but North Dakota State's got a lot of guys out. They have more turnover, I think, on their roster, if you include the coaching staff and the head coach, than Colorado does. I think Colorado should light them up.
Okay, so what are our official plays here?
Yeah.
Was it 9.5? I think
Colorado minus 9.5.
And then your first half spread, what? 5?
Oh no, my cover all numbers. I mean, like I don't care if it's 8, 9, or 10. I'm not betting.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I thought we were stacking them with the triple units on the Buffs. I'm in on this team total. We still got 34.5 out there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I think that there's an athletic advantage when Colorado's offense is out there. And I will admit that in my expectations of Colorado football in 2024, I am a little bit less dialed on the defensive side of the ball in terms of what I feel good about. I think that they're going to be able to score. So they started the last season with an absolute banger, throwing 49 on the board. I was on, I think CBS Sports HQ earlier this week. Bold prediction: they're going to flirt with 50. But hey, for locks, let's just go with 35. So I'll go Colorado team total over 34.5.
By the way, we got to urge patience with the audience here. This is Mikey's first actual live bullets lock show. So I mean, this is a fast moving show, y'all, and he's gonna get with it. This ain't easy.
I will just say, I hope North Dakota State doesn't have the passwords for the catapult system. They could be watching that practice film. If they lose, there could be an accusation that's made. Just saying.
I don't know. Like they might hack that offensive line like Oregon did.
Look. So what's that like? I think we use the term hacking loosely.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think that I go up to get Wi-Fi access and now all of a sudden this folder is available on a shared drive from the parking lot and then I download it. Like that to me is not hacking. That's a security issue on your part.
Yes. I also think this is something that should worry a lot of coaches, especially at programs that want to cut players, which I do think has happened at Colorado. Disgruntled player. Yeah. Easy to share your password. Share your username password with somebody else. Then you get the personal access to your own practice tape. How hard would it be to share? Now, Catamount, they did say Catapult. I don't know. I have
you got Western Carolina on the board.
I have that game coming out. Catapult did come out, say they did an internal review. They did it, said they didn't see any improprieties. I think it's something that coaches should be worried about from within, not the hacking from the outside, like you're having some guy plug in and pull all the information. I would be most concerned about those access codes to your own stuff that could be shared.
I would just, if I'm Dion, I would change my password from Prime.
I was going to say, what do we think Dion's password is?
I'm also on the team total, so let the children stay. We got a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it worked out well.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to add here. I just think that Colorado has all the motivation in the world to put on a good display tonight. They're going to be one of the primary games being watched. A lot of hype heading into the season. And, for the Heisman push for both Shador and Travis Hunter, if they get a chance to keep scoring points, they are going to keep scoring points.
All right. Danny, where do you want to go?
I'll go to the big game of the night, UNC at Minnesota. This is one where I'm kind of nervous. I'm being cautious. I kind of like North Carolina, but I got burned on some ACC squads last year as favorites. Just give me the under. I think you're going to playing 2 quarterbacks. Who's it going to be? I don't know if that's Mac Brown being a little bit coy, trying to use an athletic advantage or, competitive advantage by not disclosing it, or if it's actually a quarterback battle that's taking place. Either way, you will see whoever's playing quarterback hand it to Amari and Hampton. Also, Minnesota breaking in a new quarterback themselves. I just think this could be a little bit more of a defensive affair, a little bit more of a defensive slugfest as both teams are kind of feeling each other out. I'll go under 50.5.
It's a low number.
I ain't scared.
Let's go. Do we think Darius Taylor plays?
No.
Yeah, I think no too.
A lot of the props, like if you guys want to know if a player's playing before the coach announces it, it's not necessarily watch the game line because like a running back's not really going to move the overall point spread that much unless like Adrian Peterson. Watch the prop market. Bangura and Marcus Majors have been going down a lot in terms of what the odds are. So those are the 2 backup running backs for Minnesota. People who would know have been banging those.
I've been
betting the props for the backup running backs on Minnesota.
Up.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Got it.
Like Marcus Majors was like 22-1 to score the first touchdown. Now he's like 15. There's anytime touchdown has gone from like 450 to like 200, I think.
That's some sharp, that's some good advice. You just don't get that anywhere else. I think the whole 2 quarterback thing comes down to, and I think I mentioned this, but I think it comes down to whether Carolina can block them. And I don't know if Chip Lindsey or Mac Brown or anyone's going to really know until they get out there. So if they can just run the ball with Amarion Hampton, if they can move bodies around, you just run the football with Amarion Hampton and don't look back. 30 carries, and that would definitely be good for your under. No official play for me on this one. Anybody else got a Carolina Minnesota play?
I do not.
Okay, Tom.
I think the boys are going to have fun out there.
I don't know if they're going to have fun. That's an angsty game. Because it's a coin flip game in a season where both of these teams need to win their coin flips.
I would agree with that. I think, it's the first game of the season. It's going to be nice weather, a lovely city. I think everybody's going to have a good time.
Okay. Love that. Positivity. All right, Tom, where do you want to go?
I don't have anything for Thursday or Friday left.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll check in with you after. Bud, what else do you have for Thursday?
Let's see. So, I already took Colorado. We got any 55s left on that Jack State game for the under?
Let's see. No.
Doesn't look like it.
No, it's about a touchdown lower than that now.
Wait,
a touchdown lower?
For Coastal Jacksonville State?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at Jackson State.
Oh no, sorry. I was looking on Spank. No, I'm gonna pass. I want 55. So if it's not there, I'm not gonna give out a bad number.
That's it. Hey, look, that's why we that's why we do this. Danny, you want to keep it rolling on Thursday?
Yeah, sure. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I gotta have one. Give me NC State laying 32.5 over the Catamounts, Western Carolina. I think the Grayson McCall era gets started off strong. Mildly concerned. We were doing our picks for Tennessee on the flip side. They had a big number week 1. They do have Tennessee coming up week 2. I just think it's going to be too much, even with the backups. I think they'll be able to put up numbers. I think Western Carolina could struggle to score. Last year early, they played Arkansas and lost 56-13 or something like that. I just think it's going to be an uphill battle for them. So I'll take the Wolfpack playing at home. Big debut for Grayson McCall and those wide receivers. Too much talent. So I'll lay the 32.5.
What if I told you I can get you minus 32?
Even better.
Look at that. That half point is going to be huge.
I just doubled my unit. Let's go.
If you're concerned about the late action, I'm not trying to talk you into a bet or off a bet.
It was 33.5. Like
there is 20 first half.
Nah, Danny, this is
Danny's full game. Full game, Danny.
Full game, Danny.
Dave Doran doesn't take plays off. This is a full game team.
The year of the Wolfpack continues. It is a calendar year. We're still going.
That's right.
They're closers.
98 degrees, I think, when the real feel of 98 degrees in the parking lot before they get into the game. It's gonna be a hot one in Carter Finley.
It's
You know?
a hot one.
Yeah, like go and get your walk in before the locks pod, because I don't really plan on going outside much after that. So good luck all there, and don't forget to hydrate, everybody who's headed out to Carter Finley to watch the Wolfpack. All right, I'm tapped out for Thursday.
Are you?
Yeah.
To the private chat?
I'm not.
Oh no, I've got that later.
Okay. Oh, okay. For that. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to skip that.
No. Do you?
I kind of have another one, but I got to wait.
Okay. All right.
I got to use some restraint. I got to use some restraint.
Danny's got like 15 locks.
I did have a play on Howard Rutgers, but I really don't want to watch much of that game.
Well, you'll have access to like more screens, being in studio. It's a pretty good watching environment.
I like to think of it as Rutgers Howard because it sounds like Rutger Howard.
There you go. That's a lesson for y'all. All right. What about Friday? Who's got any Friday locks? I know we got Oklahoma in action. FAU, Michigan State.
I got to play.
Okay.
Elon-Duke under 49.5.
Ooh.
Malik Murphy gets started. His era gets underway. They lost a lot of pieces at Duke. I don't know if the offense is just going to pick up and be explosive. My guy, Tony Trisciani at Elon, puts up a pretty tough defense that could provide some issues. I think Duke wins the game, but I'll go under 49.5.
Can we have Tom say that name instead? Like Tony Trisciani's his name. I just want to hear
Tony Trisciani.
There we go. Okay. All right.
There you go.
My hand was below the Tony Trisciani.
There you go.
Anything else? We had to turn in some expert picks this morning, and I was thinking that FAU plus 2 touchdowns. I'm not gonna make it a lock, but after Danny Kanell gave him a pump up speech,
it's tempting.
Yeah, you take that. You take that to East Lansing when you're thinking about the adversity that you're gonna have to face on the road at a Big Ten stadium. Just remember what Danny said. All right. Don't hate it, but I'm not.
I'm just gonna say that line started with FAU plus 11. Then ever since Danny's speech, it went to plus 14. So I don't know.
That might be true.
Let's go.
Another one, Wisconsin.
No, I got one more. I said I was gonna, watch out for the ACC, but I am ACC heavy. Troy Taylor, Stanford, getting the squad together. They have one of the best receivers out there in Elliott Manor.
Yep.
Elliott Manor. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Home dogs was something I was looking for. They're catching 9.5. I'll take all those points. TCU.
There's a couple 10s out there, Dan.
Oh, well, then I'll snatch up those 10s too. Feel pretty good about that. Plus, I want a late game action Friday night. Just
Danny coming to the rescue of ACC royalty, Stanford.
That's gonna be a weird.
Got to repay.
It is a weird
for all those
game.
gold
Friday
medals.
night, Pollock could be sleepy. TCU was used to playing last year, week 1. All those fans there.
Kickoff temperature 61 degrees.
Yeah,
a little odd. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Coming up on the other side. Oh, any others for Friday? We good? Okay. Coming up on the other side, we turn the page to Saturday and our full locks card. We get started with some of the biggest games of the day, and then we might get SICKO. All that and more next. Back here on the Cover 3 podcast. And before we jump back into the locks, just a quick reminder that we are in the mix for the People's Choice Podcast Awards for 2024. We have been a finalist 2 times in a row, and now we just want to bring home the trophy. You can nominate us to advance to the final round and be a finalist again in the sports category. You go to podcastawards.com/app/sign up. Once again, that is podcastawards.com/app/sign up to nominate the Cover 3 podcast for the People's Choice 2024 Podcast Awards. All right. So for Saturday, we're going to start with some of the biggest games of the day, and we will begin with the noon kickoff from the Big Body Benz in Atlanta. One of the few top 25 versus top 25 matchups. We're going to go with Georgia against Clemson. Right now, I'm still seeing this as basically the 13.5, like pretty much across the board. You've got like over under of right around 48.5. Looks like we're a shade under 49, the key number.
I'm just like, remember the Simpsons episode where Homer's in space and the ants farm breaks and there's ants all over the space shuttle and the Kent Brockman's on there like, the ants are our new overlords. I'm kind of waiting for Bud to come back and we found out that the ants got to him. Okay.
Let's wonders, boys. Undertaker time.
Wow, that is amazing.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
Couldn't get the strobe lights to work behind, but we were in Halloween store yesterday, and boys were looking for a construction costume.
Oh my
Let's go.
I got to give the full middle of the ring.
The music's copyrighted, otherwise we would do it.
Yeah, we don't want to get flagged, but the Undertaker has arrived. If you're watching on youtube.com/cover3, yeah.
And if you're not, you need to be.
And if you're not, you need to be. Okay, at least
This
let's
is probably
see.
a video product today.
We're probably, we are absolutely. Oh,
Wow.
That's yeah. But now we need
How does he look so good in it too? Like, I mean, he pulls it off pretty well. The beard matches up with the hair.
Chest hair. Yeah. You need the fan to blow through the hair. All right. So the Undertaker has arrived. And so got to ask you, are we getting started here with Georgia Clemson?
I mean, I didn't get to be the world champion by being undisciplined. I got nothing on this one. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I got to play here. Anybody? All right. Just jump in. Okay.
Oh yeah, we got
go. I got to play, but you can go first.
Okay. First half under. If we still have 25.5, I'll take it. 24.5, somewhere around there. I know yesterday at FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can make every moment more here in North Carolina, at least we had a little 25, but at 24, I'll still take it.
24.5 out there, Chip.
Yeah.
24.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the principle here is that I don't believe that Kirby Smart, especially heading out there, we have already said in Big Game Breakdown, the expectation is that Etienne might not play. And if he does play, maybe not play in the first half. We already know that we've got more injuries at the running back position. It feels like offensively, Georgia might not be coming out to let it rip right away. It might be a don't make mistakes kind of start for a Georgia offense that I think over the course of 4 quarters might build its game, just sort of set things up and then really start to let Carson Beck go out there and cook in the second half. I also think that a similar approach of not taking too many risks is going to fall right into what Dabo Swinney's going to want to do for Cade Klubnik going up against this Georgia defense. Well, arguably the most difficult task that Cade's going to face all season. And we're looking for all this growth for him to put it all together here in game 1. I don't think that they set him up for anything too risky early. We know that Dabo Swinney, old big game Dabo, full game unders, punting from plus territory, a lot of field goal attempts as well. So defending against Georgia may be piling on a little bit late with a sleepy noon start inside. Let's go with these two teams. It's a heavyweight fight. I think they just both throw some jabs in the first half. I like the first half under in Clemson, Georgia.
I can't stop staring at Bud.
No.
I also have a lock in this game. I really think that Georgia's gonna get a choke slam in on Clemson in this one. My biggest primary concern for Clemson, as we talked about in the big game breakdown, I just don't know how many points this team will be able to score in this game. I don't have a ton of faith in the quarterback. Obviously, we've talked about how we think the receivers are better. On the flip side, I think Clemson's defense is good enough to where Georgia is not going to steamroll them. But I could see this being something that would also play to your pick, Chip, like a 27-13 kind of game where Georgia doesn't go off. It's just Clemson really struggles to put up points because, as we mentioned, last year this team really struggled finishing drives in the red zone. They had to settle for field goals too often, so often that all their kickers died and they had to pull guys out of the stands to attempt them at some point. So I like Georgia minus 13.5.
I hear it.
We haven't had a fight yet on this show early. Let's go. Let's fight it out.
Here comes Captain ACC.
That's right. I can get 14 right on my side. Is there 14s out there?
I don't see one, bud. How about the spankers?
I was looking at 7 real quick, but no dice on the 14.
Don't worry, I don't need it because I think that score. And guess what? We haven't had a 2-for-1 special yet this year. Give me the under as well. I like Chip's first half under call, but I got burned last week, so I'm still a little bit tough on that first half under that I got burned. Total under went and won for Florida State, Georgia Tech. I think Clemson's defense is what keeps this game close. And I also I'm not so sure. I think Carson Beck will be fine. I just very curious to see. We talked about this. Who does he go to without Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey? And he's got weapons to work with. I know that. But is Oscar Delp going to be that one that, kind of picks up the slack there? Is he going to be more of the blocking tight end? I think Clemson, you were talking about pace yesterday. We can talk all we want about Cade Klubnik. I think this could be a struggle, but Georgia, they don't have the same interior defensive line they've had before in the past. I think Phil Maffa could have a pretty good day. I'm not saying he's going to go off for 150 or anything crazy, but I think they're going to try to run the football. I think both of these teams will be content trying to run the football, working that clock. I think it's a slower pace game. I'll get under and Clemson catching the 13.5.
Hey, this is one of the largest underdog spreads for Clemson under Dabo Swinney
Since 2012.
Yeah, not a position that we are used to seeing with the Tigers. If they're gonna course correct here, it would certainly be involve. I would think a low scoring game where they do hang inside the number.
There are a couple 14s out there, Mikey. I just not at places that I can play. So
okay.
But yeah, we should give it to Danny.
No,
I can get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go.
Whatever.
Also at
ACC boys are stacking up against me. All that Florida State jokes are coming back.
We
to
need
get
all
me.
the points we can get, boys.
So also at noon Eastern time, you've got Penn State going to Morgantown, where West Virginia is going to try to get a little revenge after a lopsided loss in Happy Valley. The spread right here, we're down sitting around 8 or so. Anybody got to play for Penn State, West Virginia?
I do.
All right.
So there's actually a couple things I like in this game. But the one that I think I have the most confidence in is Penn State's defense. So I actually am going to take a little Penn State under here and lock that in at 52. So Penn State under 52 for me. I like their ability to stop the run. I think they've got really nice safeties. To me, that's a good shot.
So under the total, 52?
Under the total?
Under 52.
Under 52.
Let the children sing.
All right.
Told you it was going to be on under day. I'll lock arms with the Undertaker. A lot of the same reasons he was just talking about.
By the way, totally newfound respect for women with long hair, because how the hell do you keep the hair behind your ears? This is really tough.
Hair time.
I've never encountered this before and didn't really try this on too well before we got on the air. So, but yeah, it's tough.
This is the type of day when I put on the day trader Danny, outfit or had the Bo Nix beard. If my wife sees me and she's like, "You're working, this is work. You guys goofing around putting on costumes." I'm like, "Yep, you dang right it is.
It's my damn job."
Tom, you got anything
don't
here?
get credit for the hard work that we do. And she's like, "All right, now you're done playing."
I've got nothing on this game.
I'm gonna lay him. I'm gonna take. Listen, famous last words, right? Oh yeah. No, I've got James Franklin's Penn State Nittany Lions at more than a touchdown going to West Virginia. Like I understand that this is playing with fire. I think that I think they're the better team. I think they're a tier of a better team. And we'll have to go back to the drawing board. But in Andy Kotelnicki, we trust, because you got to score points to cover spreads like that. So, I'm with both of y'all in terms of a lot of respect for Penn State's defense. I think it is the side that shows up. But I am looking at the offense to maybe take a step forward, and that's how we finish the job. So where's Coca at? Is Coca in the chat? We got a lot of people watching live.
He was the other day when Florida State lost. Let's
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I kind of want to fight you and take the Mountaineers playing at home, but I got a lot on the board.
I was going to say, Danny's already got 7 plays in.
I'm going to slow
We're not
it down.
even past, yeah.
But see, that's what they want you to think. They want you to think West Virginia plus more than a touchdown is an auto fire. You know, they want you to do that. That's the bait. That's why you've got to be an independent thinker. Okay. You've got to do your own research. All right. Free mind right here. Shout out to GP on that one. Independent thinker. All right. Let's keep it rolling. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time for the in-state battle in the Sunshine State. Miami at Florida. Ooh, got a lock.
I do.
All right.
Give me the Gators plus 2.5. There's been so much talk about Florida's schedule, and we talked about this a bit earlier in the big game breakdown, that I think the narrative is just kind of overlooked the fact that the team doesn't really suck. It's a good team. It just has to play a schedule against teams that are better than it is. And for me, first game of the season, Cam Ward's first game with Miami, a guy who is prone to making mistakes as it is, going on the road in that environment, playing in a game against with a team he's never played with before, against the Gators at home. I just think that it's a coin flip, but to me, the coin flip is more on Florida's advantage than it is to Miami. Like, I would have this at like 51-49 Florida. So if I'm getting points and nearly a field goal, I'll take the Gators here. It's hard for me to believe Miami's going to go in there on the road and win.
Boy, you can't stand Cam Ward. Why are you such a hater?
I was getting yelled at by Brady on HQ about this. H Quinn. But it's first of all, Brady disrespected the whoopsie daisy rate. We've got to educate him on the WDR. He was like, what's that? But come on, man. The kid takes risks. It's a tough road environment, and it's his first game with a new team. And we saw last week, I think you got a front row seat. Sometimes when you got a lot of new players, that first game could be challenging.
I agree as far as like the operational stuff, under 54.5 for me. By the way, the chat is definitely moving these.
Yes.
Like, all the 52s are gone on the prior one. This will be under 54 in a minute, I bet.
So under 54.5 for you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let the children sing quick. Let them sing quick. I told you. I think this game could be ugly early. It's just sloppy. They're going to be dropping like flies in the second half. I think it's going to be ugly. I go under all day.
Yeah. I was spooked. I'm spooked off this game. It's too dumb, you know? Like there's some times when I go to the state of Florida and I just need to look at, some places, like, that's not for me. That's for people that've been there before, that understand, that know how to handle themselves. Me, I might get in some trouble, I got to know when to stay away, but I'm fascinated by this game. I think Miami wins, but no confidence in that on my part. All right. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, Notre Dame at Texas A&M down at Kyle Field. Who's got a lock? Do we have any 2.5s left, or is it we have to take 3s now?
I think it's just straight 3s. No, that's juice to 30. So that's basically just buying half. We're not.
Yeah, there's 3s everywhere.
All right, we'll do it. Yeah, the position was started at the beginning of the week. I'm backed into a corner now. It is the game that when we started picking games a month ago, I circled, and now I'm just riding with it. I still feel confident.
Oh, Mikey found a 2.5 at FanDuel, where every Make every moment more.
Let's
with
go.
Not insane juice. Let's go.
All right.
Is FanDuel watching? Look at that.
But if they're moving it that way, that would suggest that FanDuel is fading Chip Patterson. Which might not be.
You said it.
Horrendous. So I'll go Texas A&M -2.5. If you haven't heard any of the other things I've said about this game, to me it comes down to not necessarily the Mike Elko, Riley Leonard of it all, but the Notre Dame's reworked offensive line against Texas A&M's defensive line. Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner, DJ Hicks, Nick Scorton, those are dogs over there. And when you've got that loud environment at night, I just think that that's one of those spots in football where if I find enough of an advantage, I'm not going to feel bad taking the home team to win the game. Give me Texas A&M minus the short number.
I'm on the under 46.5. I just think that when you look at these two teams, where are all your question marks on the offensive side of the football? You're pretty confident in them defensively in this matchup. Like, we're not sure about Notre Dame's offensive line. We're not sure about its receivers. We know Texas A&M has Nick Scorton. They've got a good pass rush. That could be a problem. And then we know Notre Dame's defense is very good, and you wonder what's Texas A&M's offense going to look like in this first season, or at least this first game. So under 46.5.
Agreement.
Yeah.
I think I like the ends on these teams better than I like the tackles. And to me, that means we could have an increased run rate over expected here. Also, like, the thing that I'm most confident in for Notre Dame is Riley Leonard's legs.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big game. Notre Dame, if you look at who they play next, I mean, it's not that you want him to get injured, obviously. That's not what the point I'm trying to make. But they have Northern Illinois, Purdue, and Miami, Ohio. He could go into like a cryo chamber for the next 3 weeks if he needs to. They're going to run the heck out of Riley Leonard, in my opinion. So give me the under.
I want to agree and see a unity, but I got dudes in here accusing me of hopping, piggybacking Bud's picks and Tom's picks. So I'll use some restraint. Plus, I got a lot on the board.
Look at that. The chat ruined the first unity of the year.
Peer
I hope you're
pressure.
proud of yourself, chat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody's listening to this right now later, and they're like, "Man, tailgate messing up Danny's vibes."
Yeah.
Come on, just listen. Undisciplined Danny will be back. I know.
He's still here.
I
We
think
got more show to go.
I think
Bubbling
if you're in the
beneath.
chat right now and you're in the tailgate and you've ruined the vibes, the best way to make up for it would be to like the video.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Hey, if you want the deep cut locks, get up the likes. On Sunday, another top 25 on top 25. It's USC and LSU in Las Vegas. Who's got a lock?
I do.
I do.
I mean, this could be a unity. Hell, I just based on the way we were talking, the over. Like, how could you take anything but the over in this game? Neither defense can stop anybody. Both offenses are good. Over 64, I think, is what it's at. It could be 72. I'm still taking it.
Yeah, there's 63 and a halfs out there.
Well, give it to me.
Yeah. Anybody else jumping on that?
I'm hunting something else. I'm just kind of waiting for it to go somewhere.
Do we still have 4 and a hook, or is it only 4s?
No, there's 4 and a hooks out there.
All right, I'll take the Trojans plus 4 and a hook. I think that they can win. I think they can win the game outright. And if it does come down to a who's got the ball last kind of situation, I like my odds there. What? Fight it?
I got to put that pick in the ground. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh,
Give me LSU money.
Fight.
so
And
yeah,
no, Jackson in the chat, I'm not going to take an over dressed as the Undertaker. Today will be an entirely under show.
all right. So you got LSU winning this thing by a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay. More?
No, just touchdown.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Fighting it. Anybody else got to play on Sunday night?
I did, but I want to get copied again. I'm saving them.
What were you about to jump on?
I was gonna hop with you in the fight and have a little street brawl, a little bar brawl, but I'll let you guys have it out, hash it out. So I don't feel great about it. I just think people might be.
Danny
I
just
think
wanted
you guys
action on
put up some
Sunday.
Points,
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, we are investing in we are investing in the message that we are hearing from the coaching staff rather than the rumor mill. You know, we're saying, okay, hope that message got driven home to these defenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Danton Lynn saying all the right things.
I do think they'll play a lot better. Like fundamentally, structurally, I think they will be in the right place much more often than they were last year. But I also think that they will be displaced by LSU's offensive line repeatedly. That's not like a assignment technique. That's like light in the ass, 4 NFL draft picks on LSU's offensive line, moving people out of the way.
What do you think about the 2 tight end set? Old Brian Kelly going old school here. It's like it seems to be the sense I'm getting is that we are not going to have the wide open spread them out approach that he had when they've, got Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors out there to be able to cause real problems and stretch the field, and that they're relying on the line to sort of come downhill at your ass.
I mean, if you don't think USC has great big people in their starting lineup, it probably logically follows they don't have great big people in their reserves. And LSU does have a nice tight end room, so I don't hate that. I think Chris Hilton's going to play. Daniels has been crushing in practice. The backs can catch too, so like if they want to go heavy formations, I don't hate that at all.
Interesting. Sunday night, again, you can catch that 7:30 p.m. Eastern time kick off. And coming up on the other side, we open things up. Anything goes. Rest of the locks card coming your way. Plus, Moneyline sprinkles. Next. Back here on the Cover 3 podcast. So far on the board, Bud's got Colorado -9.5, LSU -4, Penn State, West Virginia under 52, Miami, Florida under 54.5, Notre Dame-Texas A&M under 46.5. I am on Colorado team total over 34.5, USC +4.5, Penn State -8, Texas A&M -2.5, and the Clemson-Georgia first half under 24.5. Danny's got the under 50.5 in North Carolina, Minnesota, Thursday night. Clemson +14. The Penn State, West Virginia under 52. The Miami, Florida under 54.5. The Clemson, Georgia under 48.5. And NC State -32. Oh, there's more. Duke, Elon under 49.5. And Stanford +10. And Tom so far has the Colorado team total over 34.5. Georgia -13.5. Florida +2.5. The USC-LSU over 63.5. And Notre Dame-Texas A&M under 46.5. Right now, we got lock agreements on the Colorado team total. That's a Chip and Tom. On the Penn State, West Virginia under, that's a Bud and Danny. On the Miami, Florida under, that is a Bud and Danny. On Notre Dame, Texas A&M, that is a Bud and Tom. And a lock fight on LSU, USC, Bud, Chip. And a lock fight on Georgia, Clemson, that is a Danny, Tom. Okay, so Danny's put in some work. Tom, come on. Let me see a little lock. Come on, show me a little.
Let's go pick it
up.
up.
So disciplined. You guys are hunting all your little big games. Me, I'm on the board. I'm looking for edges. I'm looking for money to win. Give me Wyoming +7 at Arizona State. I'm not super high on the Sun Devils going into the year. I think, it's a first start with Sam Leavitt at quarterback transfer, but he's a freshman. He's got little to no experience. Wyoming's bringing in a new quarterback who's a giant, man. He's like 6'4", 255 pounds. I think they're going to use him as a battering ram a bit. I think he's got a very strong arm. And I know he did not have a great season when he filled in for Peasley last year, but I know the coaching staff, the new coaching staff led by Jay Sauvel, who had been the defensive coordinator there for the last 4 or 5 years, they're pretty high on him. They think they've got something, pretty good on their hands, and they think they're going to be able to have some success in the Mountain West. But I think that success starts in week 1. I think giving Arizona State a touchdown laying a touchdown with Arizona State based on what we saw last year is asking a little too much from the Sun Devils. So give me the Cowboys +7.
Tom, that's a good bet, but I mean, FanDuel make every moment more. Does have 7.5.
Well, then that's what we're taking.
Hey, let's make it more, buddy.
And thank you, FanDuel, for getting that one on there. Yeah, I mentioned, you always important to scan around when you get that midweek availability. Kenny Dillingham came to talk to reporters about how the interior of the defensive line a little banged up. And when you're going against a battering ram and a Wyoming team that wants to come in there and whip your ass at the line of scrimmage, I think being a little banged up at the line of scrimmage is not advantageous. I like Wyoming and might have a little bit more on this one later as well.
Ooh.
Who, Danny? Are you keep it?
Danny's only got like 50 games left. On
I
the
do.
card.
I got a lot left, but I will get the one out there. I have to do it. I'm a believer. This is one you got to hold your nose and just trust. Iowa lay the 22.5 against Illinois State. The Tim Lester offense is going to open things up. They're going to put up an offensive explosion. There's been a lot of conversation around this team and how bad Cade McNamara looked in that scrimmage. What if Iowa's defense is good like they always are? And I think they could pitch yet another shutout, hold the opponent to a field goal or 7 points. It's a new year, fellas. It's a new year for the Hawkeyes. Lay them.
Oh, no. Come on.
I listen. Illinois State is not South Dakota State by any stretch of the imagination. But last year we were talking about how this Iowa offense is going to be different. They come in and what had happened in that opener against South Dakota State? They scored 9 points?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You're putting a lot of faith in that team right now.
This is a new era.
This is Danny. Did we talk about this on Tuesday? My thought here is that with Cyhawk on deck, they're just trying to get out of this thing healthy. Like they won a game as short as Florida State, Georgia Tech. They would play a 14 possession game.
You remember that day when Danny was sick last week? What are the odds he was developing like a super FCS algorithm?
I have taken a lot of these.
Cooking up some FCS stuff in the lab, buddy. All right, we see this game.
Kirk Ferentz isn't coaching, so maybe Iowa just goes 4 wide and just throws the ball all over the place all day and runs it up. Who knows?
That is the funniest outcome. Is actually no Kirk Ferentz on the sideline, and they go out there and win 41-7. You know,
and Kirk is disgusted.
And then we get to say, then on Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, we have a serious segment of 8+ minutes. Like, should Kirk retire? I mean, honestly, was he the problem the whole time? That's the funniest possible outcome. Not likely. I don't think.
Somebody on FanDuel hit the profit boosted Illinois State money line to 21-1. So.
I told y'all they got some good promos over there at FanDuel Sportsbook where you can make every moment more. All right, let me take this to Ann Arbor, Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, the debut of the Sharon Moore era. We seem to all think. Does everybody think Alex Orji takes the first snap?
Yes.
Does everybody think he takes all the snaps?
No.
I don't think he takes all the snaps either.
Does he throw all the passes?
No.
Might be a better question. Do we think they let Warren throw it around?
I think they'll let whoever comes in throw it a little bit.
I agree. I think that this is going to be a spot where the days that, I mean, there was an era where Michigan home overs was like the well, right? Because they would go in there and they would run it up and they'd win by a bunch and everybody would shake their pom-poms. And that's what made Michigan fans feeling good. We don't have to worry about making them feel good. Michigan fans are going to feel good for a generation. That's what they got from 15-0 last season. So I'm no longer going to consider that a principle. I'm instead just going to get down to the football of this. I don't know how many points Fresno State's going to be able to score because, like we've said all offseason, there are not many teams on Michigan's schedule that are going to be able to block Michigan up front. I do not think Fresno State is one of those teams that is going to be capable of blocking Michigan up front. And so I go back to thinking about what Michigan's going to want to do, which is, work some things out, ease into the game. I see the kind of game where it's like 31-7, but it feels like 50-3. where you understand where the leverage is. Michigan's, got the upper hand the entire way, and they are able to cruise to a game that goes under the total of 46. So I'm going to go Michigan, Fresno State under 46.
I mean, FanDuel's got 46.5.
Okay, let's go.
And since some of you jerks out there bet my under 24.5 first half, which I wanted to take, I'm going to have to join Chip here, lock agreement.
All right.
Nonsense. Same reasons, high rush rate. At this point, I read Barkboard a lot. Jackson Moore does a great job for us in 24/7 Sport. That dude drives all over California. He covers Fresno, Cal, Stanford, and San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's a lot of oil changes. So I think Fresno's defense is way ahead of its offense at this point in time.
I have a play on this game too, but I'm just taking Michigan minus 20.5 because for a lot of the things you talked about, like with Michigan, I don't think the quarterback situation is solved. And I think that they've got a pretty big game next week. So while a lot of teams might, kind of just not put anything on tape this week and worry about the Texas game looming, Fresno State is not a pushover, so you can't really do that. And I also think Michigan wants to know who its quarterback is going to be, and they're going to be trying to figure some stuff out in the second half. And then as far as the other side, I don't know how many points they have to score because I just don't know how much Fresno is going to score. Chip, you mentioned the ability to block the Michigan defensive front. I think Fresno's got 2 players on their offensive line that are under 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how that's going to work for them at this time. So give me Michigan minus 20.5.
Like that. All right. Bud, where do you want to go?
I mean, at this point in the show, if you're still watching, you're a complete sicko. So let's go there.
Oh, yes!
It's time for sicko mode. Let's go. I'm a little bit lower on some of the teams in the bottom of the Sun Belt. If things go wrong, they could be like UMass, UConn. That's kind of like sicko mode of a sicko mode.
All right. Got a couple today. So we're going to go to the worst stadium in America. UMass.
I was going to say UMass from that video.
And we're going to take a coach who I think is legitimately one of the very best coaches in the country, Chris Creighton. Eastern Michigan rebuilds every year. They got no resources. They scrap. They bite your shins. They bite your kneecaps. They got Snyder, the quarterback from Buffalo. I think they got enough on defense. Give me Eastern Michigan +3. And this is a game where I legitimately use a 0 for home field, not because the stadium's crappy. I've never been there. No real opinion. Just nobody shows up and the travel's not that hard. So give me Eastern Michigan +3. I do like that one. All right. That was a little sick. I mean, those are probably 2 of the worst teams in the entire country, right?
No, but that is legitimately one of the sickest. I told you that I've got like a rudimentary game quality score that I run on the whole FBS on FBS Slate. This is one of the This is one of the lowest numbers I've ever seen in 3 years of doing the Chipalytics. I mean, this is sick stuff. I'm so happy that we've got a lock for it.
I'm not going to lie. I will probably not watch this game live. I'll just watch the explosive plays, turnovers, and then
you don't want it enough.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So the next one is really, really sick. I'm taking a team that's never played in the FBS before.
Oh, hoot, hoot.
And I'm going to take them in the first quarter. So we're going to take the Kennesaw State Owls +7 first quarter at UTSA. UTSA's got a lot of new guys, a lot of dudes on defense may want to get their own stats. We'll see how well they play together personally as a team defense. Do they know what UTSA is running? I don't. It's probably some version of option. So I'm going to go ahead and take +7 in the first quarter. Kennesaw State Owls up or Owls who? What do they say? Whatever it is. These points.
I don't know. Jason Kirk will know. Ask Jason.
I will text Kirk.
They just hit you with a wooden board. My memory shows.
The wooden board, the turnover board, or the little face on it. I mentioned this already on CBS Sports Network earlier this week. Might as well throw it on the lock card here in the SICKO portion of the program. But I don't want to cut you off. For you, is that the last really sick one you got?
Oh hell no, no! It's
Come on, let's go.
But uncertainty is our friend in sicko mode. So let's go to College Park, Maryland. And we're going to bet first half under. Again, probably the same people that bet Michigan. First half under 23.5 in UConn, Maryland. After reading all the reports, my guess is Billy Edwards. He's got about as many career rushes as he does passes. To me, that's like a lower run rate. I'll believe UConn is a functional passing game when I see it. And first half under there for me with Maryland and UConn.
23.5, you said?
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody's snaking my 24. This is not.
Those bastards.
I will find you.
All right.
And then I got one more.
Yeah, go.
Of course.
All right. Let's go ahead and go to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. They got a big one next week. I don't know how much of their full offense they really want to show for the full game. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the 27.5 with UTEP going to Lincoln.
Picks up.
Let's go.
Did you guys learn about? Did you guys learn about? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did you see that Henrik Harburg was a quote Taysom Hill type package that they have
Good luck
for him?
with that. Mm-hmm.
That's what
run clock run, baby.
Yeah.
Have you guys learned about corn sweat this week?
Yeah,
Corn sweat, like in the Midwest, it's been extra humid this week with the heat because of all the corn sweat, because the corn releases condensation when it gets hot, which is then being released into the air, which is up in the humidity. But what we learned was when they showed the corn sweat map, you know what state didn't have much corn sweat?
Illinois.
Oh no, Illinois had a lot, Chip.
Okay.
Iowa had a lot. Nebraska didn't have much.
Huh.
Is Nebraska living a lie? Do they even husk corn there anymore?
First they take our balloons, then they take our bowl games, and now they take our corn sweat. Like what do we have with Nebraska anymore?
Also, corn sweat is definitely the name of a rapper with face tattoos who will wear overalls and be a guest picker on game day by 2031.
Absolutely. It's a great name.
So 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on CBS, America's Most Watched Network, the network of stars, is where you'll get to see Ohio State playing host to Akron. And a little bit later in the game, we expect it'll be kind of lopsided. We're probably going to be hearing from Jenny Dell. She's going to have a lot of good reports. She's going to be able to give you a lot more, to feast on as the game reaches its conclusion, which is why I have labeled this one the Jenny Dell special. Akron plus 7.5 in the fourth quarter. So the following scenario
Wait, in the fourth quarter?
That is sicko.
So
you found a posted fourth quarter line already? Quarter?
Yes. All right, hold on. Let me double check this. I got this on HQ Spotlight on Wednesday. So the following scenarios would be a winner. Okay. So we're just basically running out the clock, trying to make sure nobody gets hurt. 0-0. Akron's a winner. Maybe one of Ohio State's backups ends up scoring a touchdown. That's Akron's still a winner as long as it's still 7-0. And if Akron and Joe Moorhead march in there and punch in a garbage time score, well, guess what? Now we've got 14 points to work with on wiggle room. Zips are a winner. So we'll be dialed in, Jenny, for the fourth quarter as we watch Akron plus 7.5 in the fourth quarter.
I don't hate it. I'm shocked you found it.
At FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can make every moment more. I'm pulling it up right now. Akron plus 7.5.
Shout out FanDuel. Make every moment more, especially the fourth quarter of a game with a 49-point spread.
I mean, listen, if they agree to a running clock, pretty.
Great play.
All right.
Man, FanDuel's corn is sweating over that one.
I've got a couple before we get to spring.
I got two left.
Okay. Let me see how many. All right, go Tom.
I will say, I talked about Michigan not looking ahead to Texas because they have to figure things out. I don't think Texas has much to figure out. I think Texas will be looking ahead to the Michigan game. So give me Colorado State plus 32.
Okay. I like that. I'm jumping on something else here. I'm going with the over 59.5. starting principle here is I think Colorado State can score. I think Colorado State can get us a couple scores. I think they can get to 17. They might even be able to.
60 now. Do you still want it?
60?
Yeah.
No 59.5 left?
Not that I could see, Bud. Do you know any?
Sorry, man. This
Colorado
Jack
State,
really messed with
Texas.
my neck. So which game? Colorado State, Texas?
Yeah.
I got 33, and I got 60s, 59.5.
Oh, there is a 50. All right, cool.
All right, yeah. So 59.5. The principle here is that Colorado State can score. I mean, they've got a passing attack that is pretty good, and this is a Texas defense that lost a decent bit off last year. I understand that we're mostly focused up front, but also by Jeff Choate, a really good coach, is now the head coach at Nevada. So we're reworking that side of the ball as well. You've got Michigan on deck. So, maybe they just want to play this downhill. But the principle is that Colorado State can get us to about 17 or 20. That means Texas is going to have to go out there and score a bunch as well. I think we end up going over the total. So Texas, Colorado State over 59.5.
Love both of those.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now I think I'm good till sprinkles.
Danny, Bud, you got any left?
I got two more quickies.
Well, we got a Dennis pick.
Yes.
Let's get to it.
Go.
Furman, the Ole Miss Furman game.
Actually, it is. Believe it or not. He had one prior that I told him was a terrible pick. So he swapped it out. We want a winning dentist, right? We want a happy dentist. So he said, if I had the guts, I would take Ole Miss Furman under 60.5. Dude, week 1, have some guts. So he thinks Ole Miss maybe holding some guys out for just kind of injury stuff, which I think will be a common theme for some of these really high dollar teams this year. If they know they're going to cruise in some of these games, you don't really need style points against Furman. So he likes that under 60.5 in Furman Ole Miss.
Under 60.5. Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
And that's a game that I have.
Yeah, what happened to the drill sound, by the way? I think the chat is correct here. We soundboard drillless?
I've never soundboarded that. You've just had to deal with that.
Yeah, that's what we want.
There it is.
Because then I want the chat to be like, who the hell is the dentist? Why do they have some random dentist? And then the longtime tailgaters in the chat can let them know what it is.
Okay. Anybody else got anything for the locks before we get to?
I do. I got two more. I'll
right,
get them out.
Let's go.
Did you guys know this is one we will only be able to use for this year? It's gonna be windy on Lake Michigan. Miami of Ohio playing Northwestern under 40 points in this game. Chuck Martin, defensive-minded coach, by the way, favorite to win the MAC. Blaine Gabbert's little brother playing quarterback. You might hear a bet on this one later.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern potentially losing the guy they wanted to start to Iowa, but under all day.
God, I'm so proud of you. That was amazing. That was very, very good.
And then my last one, ACC boys, we gotta roll together. And I hate to do this. Give me Vatek laying 13.5 at Vandy. I hate to do it, but business is business.
Wow. Well, you hear that, Barton? Just let the team know.
That's right.
If Barton Simmons is watching the show, if Barton Simmons is watching what this show has become.
He's like,
I mean, you know what? To be honest, Barton probably has the outfit Bud's wearing right now in his closet.
Yeah, that's true.
From the Slayer concert.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's do. We'll do a quick review. Oh, yeah,
I've got one more play. Wow! Look at Chip trying to cut me off. Wow!
I'm trying to make sure that we keep our corporate champions happy.
That's true. We do love our corporate champions. Yeah. My final pick is, they looked good last week. They just couldn't finish. But I think that this week they will hang within 31 points of the Arizona Wildcats. Give me New Mexico plus 31.
Love that. That just that screams something that I'm going to end up jumping on at about like 5:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
How hard is that team going to play without Jed Fish? We don't know.
You got to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Got to ask the question. Ooh.
I got one more.
All right.
Last under. Give me Boise, Georgia Southern under 57.5. Defensive head coach for Boise.
Yep.
On a road trip. Who's the stud they paid to keep? Their running back, right? Like the spread is not tiny, but it's just small enough to where it's like, okay, like you could lose this if you play poorly. I don't think Georgia Southern's defense is worse than it was last year. I think it's probably a little bit better. And I think this is maybe a little more of a defensive battle. I made it 54, so that's 3.5, to the good. I'll take 57.5 under.
Sweet. All right. Let's review Bud. Week 1 card. Colorado -9.5. LSU -4. Penn State, West Virginia under 52. Miami, Florida under 54.5. Notre Dame-Texas A&M under 46.5. Eastern Michigan +3. Michigan, Fresno State under 46.5. Kennesaw, first quarter +7. UConn, Maryland, first half under 23.5. UTEP +27.5 at Nebraska. And Boise, Georgia Southern under 57.5. Chips got Colorado team total over 34.5. USC +4.5. Penn State -8. Texas A&M -2.5. The Clemson-Georgia first half under 24.5. Wyoming +7.5. Michigan, Fresno under 46.5. Akron, fourth quarter +7.5. Colorado State, Texas over 59.5. Danny's on. North Carolina, Minnesota under 50.5. Clemson +14. Penn State, West Virginia under 52. Miami, Florida under 54.5. Clemson, Georgia under 48.5. NC State -32. Duke, Elon under 49.5. Stanford +10. Iowa -22.5. Miami, Northwestern under 40. And Virginia Tech -13.5. Tom Scott. Colorado team total over 34.5. Georgia -13.5. Florida +2.5. USC-LSU over 63.5. Notre Dame-Texas A&M under 46.5. Wyoming +7.5. Michigan -20.5. Colorado State +32. New Mexico +31. And now, this Moneyline Sprinkles segment is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every single moment more. All right. Last week's Moneyline Sprinkles. Only 2 participants. Georgia Tech cashed at +350. So that would be a win for me. New Mexico came oh so close. Heartbreak for New Mexico on the money line. I will go ahead and get us started then. And it starts on Thursday night. We are going Jackson State money line against ULM. Brian Vincent might have done a good job with UAB, but he inherits a roster where even the good ULM players are gone. I mean, this is a glorified junior college roster, and I don't say that as disrespect. That's just the nature of the beast. I'm also going to go with Wyoming against Arizona State. I think they can get it done outright. I'm also on Friday night going to take the Stanford Cardinal up on the farm against TCU. I think that is a dangerous spot. You mentioned it's just like weird, low-key vibes. Might be tough to get up for that game. And if it's close late, then I think that I like Stanford to be able to be a little bit looser instead of puckering up. And finally, on CBS, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff, let's go a money line sprinkle on Timmy Chang and the Hawaii Warriors to be able to hand UCLA a loss in game number 1.
Wow. Look at Chip. Chip goes up 3.5 units in the first week. And he's like, all right, let's burn through all this right away.
Yeah, I mean, Bryson DeChambeau wins the U.S. Open, and then all of a sudden I'm spraying the board on baseball.
Jeez. All right, I've only got 2 sprinkles. They're not quite as adventurous as some of Chip's are, but one of them was oh wow, I'm just distracted right now.
Sorry.
Ladies, don't let your wife watch this show.
It's like making my neck all red. It's a little loft office up here. I'm not doing that.
I am going to take, I took them plus the points earlier. I'm also going to take them straight up. Give me Florida plus 125. And then for my other money line sprinkle, give me the Red Hawks. Miami's going along the lake, and they're going to take out the Wildcats. Miami of Ohio plus 120.
I will take Or is it Danny's turn? It's Danny's turn.
I just want to show that I had those like written down as my sprinkles. Can't see in the stupid hotel, but I had the Florida Gators as well winning the game outright, and I had Miami of Ohio winning the game outright. So let the children sing on those. And Chip, you mentioned it earlier in the show. You know, when I spoke to Florida Atlantic, when I talked to FAU, to the team, you think I'd talk about moral victories? You think I'd say I'd go up there to East Lansing and keep it close? No, I said go win the dang game. So give me the FAU Owls. New revamped roster. Man, Michigan State, Jonathan Smith, they could be fine in the long run, but he better watch out for the FAU Owls plus 430 to win the game outright.
Get you
I have
450.
one more. It's kind of in Chip's theory of wouldn't it be hilarious? But go ahead and give me North Dakota State tonight. Why not?
Because us betting against Colorado on the Cover 3 podcast has gone so well in week 1.
Plus 320. Why not?
Ye of little faith.
Them
All right.
plucky North Dakota State boys. They're gonna be ready. They're gonna try to run the football on Colorado's defense.
Yeah, a team that's so dangerous, their head coach left to go be a linebackers coach.
Damn. You guys are harsh. All right. So I'm with Chip on Jackson State.
All right.
What do we got? Plus 180? Sorry. Yeah. It's yeah.
200. I can get you.
Give me plus 280 on Stanford.
We got plus 290.
I got you plus
I'll
290.
take plus 290. Shoot.
Yeah.
And then give me plus 300 on Central Arkansas to go into Jonesboro and beat Arkansas State.
Uh-oh, Butch Jones is in trouble.
All right. So is this more Central Arkansas or is this more Arkansas State?
It's more Central Arkansas.
Oh.
They got a quarterback that really balled out at the Manning camp and got a good chance to make the Senior Bowl. So, we'll see.
Because Jalen Raynor's still there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. The variance on an Arkansas State performance is like, it's like 359 degrees. I mean, you can't even like stretch your arms around to be able to show you all the different ways that Arkansas State can perform.
This is true. Like last year when they played UMass and UMass didn't know how to tackle anybody. And then also when they played Troy and Troy doesn't know how to tackle people. And the results were slightly different.
Okay, so that's Bud Moneyline sprinkles on Jackson State. That is against ULM, Stanford against TCU, Central Arkansas against Arkansas State. I've got Jackson State, Wyoming against Arizona State, Stanford against TCU, Hawaii against UCLA. Danny's got Florida and Miami and Miami-Northwestern, FAU at Michigan State, and then North Dakota State. Reminder, North Dakota State is a Thursday night game. Go ahead and get that in. Tom's got New Mexico against Arizona, Florida against Miami, and Miami against Northwestern.
Week 1's done, baby. Let's go.
That feels so good. I woke up with butterflies, man. Like Thursday's a game day, you know?
Yeah. Talk to you after you start off 0-2 in week 0, how those butterflies are. Even worse.
All right. We will be back 11:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday night for our week 1 reaction show. We appreciate everybody that hung out as we talked about a game and a half for 40 minutes. So I guess we're going to have to disperse our reactions a little bit more wide when we're with you on Saturday night. But who knows? We'll have that late night action to be able to keep us invested as well. So again, youtube.com/cover3 if you want to come and hang out in the tailgate live. We will be going live at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Danny Kanell. You can follow The Undertaker at Bud Elliott 3. You can follow me at Chip_Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
ILL.
See ya. Good luck.